Giovanni Boccaccio was an Italian writer, poet, and scholar, born in 1313 in Florence, Italy. He is one of the most significant figures in Italian literature, best known for his work The Decameron. His influence on literature, culture, and storytelling has lasted for centuries. While he came from a family involved in business, Boccaccio was more interested in learning, writing, and exploring the human experience through literature. He is considered a key figure in the early Renaissance and had a significant role in shaping the literary world. Boccaccio wrote many different types of works during his lifetime, including poetry, prose, and historical writings. However, it is the Decameron, his most famous work, that has made him a household name in literary history. The book is a collection of 100 stories told by a group of 10 young people who have taken refuge in a countryside villa to escape the Black Death, which was sweeping across Europe at the time. The storytellers pass the time by telling tales about love, wit, trickery, social norms, and human behavior. The stories are filled with humor, cleverness, and insight into human nature. Through these stories, Boccaccio offers a deep understanding of the complexities of life and the diverse emotions and motives that drive people's actions. The book The Decameron is structured around 10 days, with each day featuring 10 stories, making a total of 100. Each story is told by one of the 10 narrators, who are all young men and women. These narrators come from various walks of life, giving the stories a wide range of perspectives. The tales touch on various aspects of life, including love, marriage, family, business, and social relationships. They are full of unexpected twists, and many of them contain lessons about the consequences of human actions. The characters in the stories are not always virtuous, but they are portrayed with understanding and compassion, allowing readers to see the complexity of human desires and flaws. Boccaccio's writing style is known for its vivid descriptions and lively dialogue, which bring the characters and events to life. He is able to weave complex plots with many characters, each with their own motivations, desires, and faults. One of the most important aspects of his writing is his ability to create suspense and keep readers engaged. He uses humor and wit to entertain while simultaneously provoking deeper thought about human behavior, social conventions, and morality. The Decameron reflects the time in which Boccaccio lived, during the Middle Ages in Italy. This was a period of great change, as Europe was transitioning from the medieval world to the early stages of the Renaissance. Italy was divided into many city-states, each with its own government, culture, and economy. Florence, where Boccaccio spent much of his life, was one of the most important city-states, known for its wealth, art, and intellectual activity. The city was home to many of the greatest thinkers, writers, and artists of the time. Boccaccio's work reflects the intellectual climate of Florence, with its emphasis on humanism, the value of individual experience, and the exploration of the human condition. Boccaccio was not just a storyteller. He was also deeply interested in philosophy, literature, and the classics. He admired the works of ancient Greek and Roman authors, particularly the poets Virgil and Ovid. His works show the influence of these classical writers, as well as the medieval traditions of storytelling. Boccaccio was also a scholar and wrote many works that were not fiction. One of his other notable works is De Mulieribus Claris on Famous Women, a collection of stories about strong and important women from history. He also wrote historical accounts, including a history of the Italian poet Dante Alighieri. Boccaccio's work was also deeply influenced by his views on religion. At the time, the church played an important role in people's lives, and it had a great deal of power over society. However, Boccaccio often criticized the church for its corruption and hypocrisy. In the Decameron, he depicts many characters who are religious but not always virtuous. Through these stories, he challenges the idea that religious leaders are always morally superior to others and questions the role of religion in society. His work suggests that personal virtue is more important than outward appearances of piety. One of the most significant themes in Boccaccio's work is the concept of fortune. Many of the stories in the Decameron deal with the idea that people's lives are often shaped by luck or fate. Characters who seem to be virtuous may face misfortune, while those who act immorally may find success. This theme reflects the medieval belief that fate was beyond human control, but Boccaccio also explores the ways in which people can influence their own destiny through cleverness, wit, and hard work. This exploration of fortune and fate is one of the reasons why the Decameron has remained relevant for so long. Although the Decameron contains many stories of love and romance, it also explores more serious themes. For example, some of the stories deal with social issues, such as the role of women in society, class differences, and the nature of power. Boccaccio was critical of the social norms of his time, and used his stories to challenge conventional ideas about morality, social behavior, and gender roles. In particular, many of the stories in the Decameron feature strong female characters who defy the traditional expectations placed upon them. Boccaccio's writing is characterized by its sharp wit and social criticism, but it is also deeply compassionate. He shows a deep understanding of the human condition and portrays his characters with empathy and humor. His ability to create complex characters and situations that are both entertaining and thought-provoking is one of the reasons why his work continues to be celebrated today. His stories are timeless because they deal with universal human experiences: love, loss, ambition, and the search for happiness. In addition to the Decameron, Boccaccio wrote poetry, including both epic and lyric poems. His poetry was influenced by the classical poets of ancient Greece and Rome, particularly Virgil and Ovid. Like many writers of his time, Boccaccio admired the classical tradition and sought to revive it in his own work. His poems explore themes of love, beauty, and nature, and they reflect the intellectual currents of the early Renaissance. Boccaccio's influence can be seen in the work of later writers, including Geoffrey Chaucer, the author of the Canterbury Tales. Chaucer was greatly influenced by Boccaccio's storytelling techniques, and borrowed many ideas from the Decameron for his own work. Like Boccaccio, Chaucer used stories to explore human nature and social issues, often using humor and satire to make his points. Boccaccio was not only a writer, but also a scholar and teacher. He spent much of his life studying literature, philosophy, and history, and he believed in the importance of education. He wrote many works that reflected his interest in learning and intellectual development, and he encouraged others to seek knowledge in order to improve themselves. His contributions to education and scholarship were significant, and he is remembered not only for his creative works, but also for his role as a thinker and teacher. The legacy of Giovanni Boccaccio continues to influence literature and culture today. His works have been translated into many languages and are still widely read and studied. The Decameron remains one of the most important works of medieval literature, and is considered a masterpiece of storytelling. Boccaccio's influence can be seen in the works of many later writers, and his ideas about human nature, social behavior, and the role of fortune continue to resonate with readers. In the end, Giovanni Boccaccio's work reminds us of the complexities of human life. His stories offer both entertainment and valuable lessons about love, ambition, morality, and the power of fortune. His writing provides insight into the human condition, and continues to be appreciated for its humor, wit, and depth. Boccaccio remains one of the great literary figures of the Middle Ages, and his work continues to inspire and challenge readers around the world. His stories are timeless, and his influence on literature, philosophy, and culture cannot be overstated. Through his writing, Boccaccio has left an indelible mark on the world of literature, and his legacy will continue to endure for generations to come.